Okay, we thought we were done wrenching. Lies.
We knew we weren't. We were just hopeful it was going to last longer.
Yep. But I'm glad. So last night we adjusted the headlights where it should work pretty good. We didn't even get it 1/16 of a mile away. And I'm like, what's that sound?
That you just heard.
Yeah. And yeah, so we ended up making that an extremely short test drive. Coming back home, I'm sadly rather familiar with that noise. It's time for wheel bearings on the front because they're dry and gone. So I knew they had some play, but I told myself this thing only has to do a few more trips in its life, and then this whole front is changed. So I wasn't going to dig in and spend a couple $100 because I was going to put that towards doing the 4-wheel drive. Well, the truck said, guess what? If you want to use me, I'm getting money. So now I get to pop the front apart. I'm going to do the wheel bearings on the front and brake pads.
And the brake pads will work on the 4-wheel drive setup. We've already double checked that.
Yeah.
The wheel bearings,
Yeah.
no.
So
it's okay.
But the problem is I have to run all around this damn state to get all the parts.
And we also need to get a fuel filter.
Yep. Yeah, because this. So, over the past few years.
Few?
Okay, past 10 years. This thing has had one fuel filter change. But since then, it has gelled up multiple times. And it's never had that filter done. The wheel bearings, I've never serviced them ever. I'm about positive I've never serviced them.
No. We haven't done a whole lot to this truck since we got it in 2011.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So I'm gonna jack it up. I got some cool tricks I can show you guys as well for doing 2-wheel drive wheel bearings. And it even works on 4-wheel drive bearings too, to an extent.
That's the plan today. So we're gonna take this apart so we can make sure that we get the right bearings and seals for this.
The seal on this, the parts stores have like 4 different seals. It's like they don't know what seal is for any part of the drivetrain. So I'm gonna pop the seal out.
Hopefully
so I can match it. And I have a trick to where it comes out to where I should be able to match it up.
Stop it!
You want to get this?
Yeah, hold on. Oh.
We might be cutting bearings out. We'll see.
Shush. No, we're not.
Yeah. So, first off, we got plenty of play, but then okay. Well,
Yeah.
oh, well, good news. This thing's been popped off a few times in its life. Just not for me. So, side cutters work good because you can grab with them to get the cotter pin out. A lot of times I'll grab it, just kind of
Pry
work it up, grab another bite, come up, cotter pin off. Okay. Nope, did not work. Okay. I need to get the brakes off. I'm gonna have to pull this, but yeah, my shim is slid. And surprisingly, my hardware, I don't think it's cracked. Okay, 1/2 inch to pull the brakes off. This is a very awesome, simple system, but as far as braking function, it's not very great. Because the only thing that holds the caliper on is these thin little pieces of metal. And they always crack, they always break. not even sure if I ever put brake pad on.
Nope.
All right, another trick I can show you. Might be able to get it to work on this old guy. Maybe, assuming that the calipers are still happy. You can come in and grab into the slot of the brake rotor through the hole in the caliper, and you can kind of pull. Don't use sharks though, because they don't work very good. So I just compressed my caliper by doing that. See that?
Don't try this on a new vehicle because it won't work.
Yeah, correct. I need to find something to hold this caliper though, because if these brake hoses get 16th of pressure, we're done.
Like a bungee cord?
Maybe. These should be able to get these off no problem because they shouldn't be that tight. If they're cranked down, you have smoked your bearings. Okay, that is off. Give the caliper a little, or not the caliper, the rotor a little pull. You can get your outer bearing out. Boom. Now, here's where there's a big trick. So, behind that other bearing in the back, you have a seal. Put this nut back on. Get it on there, you know, 3 or 4 threads. Mine's flush now. I'll pick the rotor up to slide that nut through the center, get back there a ways, and then let the rotor kind of drag down on there. Then you just kind of give it a little couple pulls. And now I've officially pulled the seal and the bearing and everything out of here. This seal very well could be reused as long as the rubber didn't get damaged doing that. But it's far less likely to damage it doing that trick than it is trying to use a screwdriver or a seal puller in the back, because that just tears them up. So, plus that was really quick. I don't know if you paid attention how quick that was. Super simple trick. In all honesty, if I wasn't recording, I could probably service these bearings, put pads on it, clean the rotor up and everything on this side in probably, what, 15 minutes? So it's a little technician trick that you'll make a lot of money, especially if you're flat rate, if you know these little tricks. But just in general at home, such a nice way to cheat. All right, I am going to find some kind of rags, clean up a little bit. Mainly I needed to get this off, the seal off, so that I can match that size up at the parts stores because there's so many options. So I'm going to see if I can track it down. I don't have any intentions of reusing it, but if I have to, I'll look into it, make sure I can. All right. That's the main thing right now. Clean up. All right, everyone. So now what I'm going to do while this is apart, I'm going to clean up where my brake caliper is going to run. Get a wire load, clean that up real good. I am reusing the brake rotors, which is fine. They're not really that bad, honestly. I do have bearings and races to put in both sides. I have new brake pads. And then we actually got pretty lucky, and I had to stop at Napa. I wanted to get a fuel filter for this, and they're the only place in town that had a fuel filter. While we were there, they mentioned about they're having a sale on the filters. Cool, right? And we ended up picking up a air filter as well, so we're going to have a stock style air filter instead of the cone, which I would prefer to have an enclosed one. We were talking about, you know, oh, we can't ever find this part. Well, they proved me wrong on one. So we had a brake problem not that long ago where the truck lost all its brake fluid. No leaks on any of the wheels, the lines, anything. Went through, bled the system, all is good. So the only thing that I can tell is it looks like the master cylinder might be leaking at the back where it goes to the brake booster. Well, nobody has it. They only show up for a gas engine. So I don't know if there's a difference in diameter for the fluid pressure or what. Napa had it. A brand new one, not even a remake. Brand new master cylinder for the diesel. So now, in an already bit of a time crunch, I'm gonna put a master cylinder on this sucker too. But, so that means I've got a lot of time to talk to y'all. I gotta clean this rotor up. I gotta get the grease out, pack the bearings. I got a new tool that I've been wanting to try one. I had one way back in the day, but it sucked. So we got a new one that I want to try. I'll show it to you and we'll get it done. But we're gonna pack the bearings, get it all back together, bleed the brakes, all four corners when you do a master cylinder. Plus you gotta bench bleed the master cylinder, so. Do an air filter, grease the suspension. Yeah, you know, the list never ends. And then I still have to find a small leak as well. I think it's a coolant leak, but I have to double check. Okay, I'm going to cheat. Well, I'm gonna say it's supposed to be like that. I got a divot in there that I'm not sure if it's supposed to be there or not, but I am not gonna be replacing any hard parts right now, like that. All right, it's cleaned up. I'm gonna hit this rotor. Surprisingly not bad actually, guys. I mean, it's got some heat in it, but it's not all scarred up, not all grooved up really. A little bit of rust pitting, but far from horrible. Jeez Louise. So, I'm gonna clean that up because I'm gonna get this side basically done and ready to put back together once Ange gets back with the other wheel seal, because we've had to run all around just to get these parts. I mean, we've been running around for hours. So, boom, I'm gonna clean it up. That way it's ready to roll. Another thing, before I get too carried away at getting the rotor perfectly clean, I'm gonna get the old grease out and the old races out of the actual center of all this, because I am going to put new races in. There's been many times I have not put new bearing races in. I've never actually had it backfire and cause problems. Still, it's highly recommended. Replace the bearing and the race. Yeah, whoever did this last, it appears they had a good amount of grease in there. They went about it how it should have been done. I'll give them that. It's just over the years, finally, you know, like I said, we've had this truck for 11 years or 12 years, and I've never done it. So I've gone that long, at least, without being serviced. All right, so when you're doing that, you've only got a very small lip of the actual bearing. So if you're not familiar with doing this process, you will want to clean it really good, because you should be able to tell the difference in metal from the cast iron or the cast piece that the bearings press into. So this is a press fit, but you can catch just the edges of this and knock it out with the punch. You can also use a bearing race puller set, which I do have, and it uses a slide hammer, but honestly, most of the time, I just kick it old school and just drive it out with a punch. You don't want to go at a super deep angle and scar up your piece. You want to kind of try to keep going down straight so you don't dig into the metal that it presses into. It's actually pretty easy once you see what you're hammering on. Because if you're not hammering on the race, you're not going to get it to go anywhere. Now the outer on this has got a lot less of a lip. So on my truck, it's got a 4,000 pound front axle is what the parts stores consider it because it's the Cummins. So my inner wheel bearing and race combo is set 45. That's funny. What used to be Temkin at AutoZone is now Duralast brand, but it doesn't say Temkin on it anywhere at this point. It just says China. I also have a bearing and race installer kit. I've had this for eons. It still has a part number from AutoZone, 27119. This is in their loaner tool program. You don't have to own it. You can go and pay a deposit or basically buy the tool, and then you're allowed to return it after you use it. So, or you can keep it like I have. I do so much crap that I just, usually if I got to get a specialty tool, unless it's outrageous, I'll just keep it because I'll need it again. But what you do is you track down what one of these tapered cups fits in here. Happens to be that one right there. Fits real good. It's a little smaller than the outside diameter, so it won't get stuck. They have bolts that they usually send. Mine's chewed up. Actually, mine's chewed up where it won't even go in there. So now I got to repair my tool. Damn. It's chewed up on the edges. I can see it. And this is a good time to mention that if you have high quality tools and stuff like this, because this isn't necessarily like super high quality, right? It's not high quality material. Fit and finish works pretty good, but like this is soft metal. So, you know, if you have high quality stuff, usually it'll treat you better over the lifetime, you know? You don't have to deal with filing it and all that jazz. So, make sure I don't have any burrs. I don't feel any at all, dragging my finger around there. Oh, it feels good. All right, and I'm also going to clean up where the seal goes in as well, because that is also going to happen. And I don't have to clean it again after I press this in. That's going to be even better. Take your bearing race, you're going to set it down. Now the trick with this is you're going to have to start it kind of slow. You want it to go in true. If it doesn't go in true, you're going to fight real hard. So, another thing too you can do is you can always go and freeze the bearing races. Put them in your freezer for a few hours if you got time. It just shrinks them just a little, couple thousandths maybe, and it'll make it go so much easier. You hammer it in. It has a hard stop on this application. Most of them do. So, boom. That bad daddy's installed. Next. See why I didn't want to clean the rotors 100% yet? I'll be cleaning them again. So this one also will have a hard stop. In the situation of the outer wheel bearing, I could not find a combo of the bearing and the race. I had to buy them individually. Okay. It was 15101 for the actual bearing. That was a Timken number. It's the same number on the Duralast box here. And the race is 15245. This is for the 4,000 pound diesel 3/4 ton axle. So the diesel should have the heavy axle. The 3,300 pound axle that they do for the 3/4 tons is for all the gassers. That way, if you're trying to track down the parts, that'll at least help you if you don't remember these numbers and you're trying to figure it out. You have the heavy axle if you have the diesel. Make sure this bearing goes in the race though. I don't want to play that game. Drops all the way in. Rides good in there. So we are good on that combo. Once again, China bearings. Apparently AutoZone or Duralast has stepped away from Timken, or unless Timken stopped labeling their bearings Timken. This one at least doesn't have China stamped on it, so I don't know. I don't know if it makes a difference. All right, it'll be a different size cup because it is a different size bearing. Probably gonna be this one. Dang it. Okay, so another prime example. Although this has been used for not the proper deal. See how chewed up that is? So that's a problem. I don't need it. Even though this is softer, this is aluminum. I don't want it to nick my bearing. I think I got another one of these cups from an old kit that got thrown away years ago. Well, the other one's too big, so that's a no. In all honesty, it actually doesn't fit very well, period. But that one's too big. This one will do the job. It's just not great. I'm gonna have to be a little more cautious with this. Now I'm using my finger going around figuring out the high and the low spots. Feels pretty even. I'm going to go like this. Cool. See, I came down more on that side over there. Shift over. Okay, this side went down a lot more, so I'm in a bind right now. Now I'm just chasing it back and forth. It's kicking my butt. Pretty close. That might have just leveled it out. Yep, that's looking pretty good. It might also be because my deal doesn't even fit very good now. So it's not driving it evenly. It worked.
You know what's messed up? Those are probably old enough. You probably could have had them turned.
Yeah, find a place to turn rotors now.
O'Reilly's?
Okay, find somebody that knows how to operate the machine to turn rotors now.
You didn't say that initially.
In all honesty, they're not really that bad. I bought the Kraken bearing packer. So it's a thread style. So you put the grease in, put the bearing in, you thread this down, and it forces the grease through holes and all up through the bearing. So I love the concept. I've hand packed 7 million bearings. I don't even know, a ton of bearings. If I can do this and get the grease inside the bearing instead of scooping it in and everything, and get it real good to where it forces the grease through both ends of it, that's awesome. I'll still grease the outside. From what I've seen, this doesn't really get the very outside of the bearing, but then you just take a little bit of grease and go around the outside of the rollers and you're good. It gets the hard part for you, so you just do the easy part. So I do have to make sure I understand exactly how to go about getting the grease in here. From what I've gathered, I have to undo this bolt and everything to fill the bottom with grease, but I'm gonna make sure I know what I'm doing before I tell you wrong.
And this will be linked in the description below because it came from Amazon last night.
Assuming it works good. If it's a pile of crap, then it's a pile of crap. We'll see. The instructions are slightly vague. I didn't watch any videos, but I just read the instructions. You unthread your handle all the way. Get that out of the way. Then, I just did this. You gotta have this disc out of the way because you filled the very bottom with grease. And this goes down, holds the grease down in that chamber, and it has little holes around the center. I don't know if you can really make out the tiny holes, but it has those little holes. When you press it in or thread it in, it pushes the grease through those holes through the bearing. So I like the concept. Let's go at it and see how it goes. Another thing too, make sure whatever grease you use is rated for disc brakes. There is greases that are not rated for that heat. I usually just buy grease that is rated for it for everything. That way I don't have to worry, especially in grease guns. Now I don't know how to do this without making a huge mess.
Do you know how to do anything without making a mess?
I know how to make a mess.
I said anything without making a mess.
No,
do you want like a spatula or something? Or a spoon? I got plenty of spoons.
I mean, I can just,
But that'll make a mess. Do you want a spoon? I can wash the spoon. I have running water. And Dawn just
well, not a regular eating spoon. Do you have like a medium for cooking?
Yeah.
I'll do that. Because after I get this bearing, I'm going to do the back bearing first. After I get that done, I'll then drive the seal in. And the rear bearing will be completely done. Is this going to be big enough to not fall in? Yep, that's the one. What was that?
I about fell.
Oh, well. Okay. So, jeez. Would you like some soup? Okay. Get in there. So I don't see a line on how much to put in. There's a lot of thread. I don't know how much I need to put in, honestly. Now, I'm actually going to clean this. I don't know if you need to. All right. So you put it back in the way it came out. Bloop. Yep, that's pushing down, squeegeeing the grease pretty good. I don't know if you can see it or not. So it's going to actually push the grease through these bearings pretty good. So, just gotta remember which way I gotta put the bearing in. I don't know if it matters. See if it works like this. Okay, you can see on this side. So we'll thread it. I'm just gonna squeegee that grease, or push the grease through, and the grease wants to go somewhere. So it's gonna be up through into the other chamber through the holes. There it comes. Give it a little more.
Does it get tighter as you
You can
twist
kind of
it
feel
down?
it, but it's not bad actually. That's now what I'll do. Now that I got the grease smashed through the back side, I can roll the grease on the inside or on the outside. Of the, yeah. Let's inspect here.
Yep. Looks like a mess.
Yep, so I got grease through every one of these rollers. I can see it coming out the top too and everything, so came all the way along the whole side, obviously on this side too. It packed the spots that it's a pain in the butt to pack.
So now I'll just use the rest
So
of
it's
it.
just basically just kind of rub it around. Yeah, that worked pretty slick. Oh gosh, no, not that much. Get a little more in there, down here. Okay. Drop her in. Yeah. This is why gloves are nice, because now you just yank the glove off and you're good to go. Okay, now, driving seals is even more of a pain in the butt than driving bearing races, because you really don't get a second chance. You gotta get it to go good. Boom. Give a little love on the seal. The bearing packer, that's pretty damn slick. So normally you gotta put a pad of grease in your hand and you scoop it in. With your bearing, you have a pad of grease in your hand. And you're kind of squishing it through, rolling it around to get through those holes in the bearing between the rollers. You wanna get grease in there. Well, that just shoved it through there. That's a win. Let's do the front one. Now I'm trying to remember which way I did this. I think I did it that way. So, still enough grease in there, I'm sure. Same concept. Just gonna throw her in there. Thread it. Hit your nose, because it never fails. Shoving grease through already. This might end up saving grease. Because if you get too much on your hand, in your palm, you know, you don't scrape it back in the container usually. At least I usually didn't. Probably could have, but. So boom. Pull this out and make sure it's got a solid amount of grease up through there, which, yep, that looks good. Give it the love it needs. I would say that's worth putting in the Lincoln. That's pretty good. It was like 36 bucks, I think. I've done enough old school, you know, packing it by hand, which is nothing wrong with that. You can do a superb job, but that's quick and easy. Okay, now I got to reassemble. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little bit of grease along here, just in case it decides it wants to be a problem child. So, you take your nice super light brake roller. Oh hey, there's a little chunk of grease on there. No. Alright. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Now, you want to try to do it nice. There we go. Slid right over onto the spindle. What was all that noise? Done.
I kept hearing dirt. Oh, it's gonna fall off.
Don't tell it to.
I didn't.
It's supposed to be nice. Behave.
I was gonna say, all I heard was dirt.
Don't forget your washer. Otherwise you are done for. Okay. Now you got the nut. With the old discs, you want to get a pretty tight start. Spread it around. Then you want to crack it loose, where it's loose by hand. Run it in. Take a little bit off. So basically, I gotta tighten my finger. Just gonna back it off to 16. Should be good to roll. Okay. Now, ideally you'd have new cotter pins, but I didn't think about that. So we are going to run with the old cotter pins. Which won't be a big deal. As long as they do the job, which is basically just make sure it doesn't spin out. Reinstall this lovely old. That was too easy. I'm just that strong. All right, boom. Wheel bearing on, set. Doesn't have any wiggling on it, but spins good. So that's how I've always set them. Haven't had any problems from my work. I've had them wear out eventually, but not problems due to work. That is that. Now I can finish the brakes, move on to the other side. I gotta compress the caliper more though. I got new brake pads. I might have to spray this rotor again. I was hoping I wouldn't have to. My hands got it too dirty though. So I kind of wasted some brake cleaner, guys. It'd be like the video, the guy making fun of how you work with brake cleaner while you're at home. And you're just like, you know, you do that and then you wipe it down.
Brake cleaner.
And then while you're at work or whatever, they just stab it and I'm in between. Because I still got to pay for it, but I also am not going to try to dab it like that. Okay. Also clean the slides. And I'm going to dab it here a little bit. Okay. All right. Now I need to get a C-clamp and compress the brake caliper more. So if I was not changing my brake pads in the beginning, how I used the pry bar to relieve pressure, I wouldn't have to mess with this. But I am changing the brake pads, so the thickness is going to be a lot more. So I will have to compress these some, compress the caliper some. Holy bejeebus. I hope it collapses. The poor caliper boot on this is so rough. Oh man. I don't need a long life out of you, girl. Interesting, these new pads don't have any groove cut in the middle of them.
Don't worry, I got it.
Do something productive and look it up.
What? I was just waiting for the freaking end to go flying.
I don't know.
We need more of these. These are the best grease guns there is, ever.
Yeah, well, or a battery powered one. I've heard that all the battery powered ones.
We have Milwaukee, so we're not going to have any other ones.
Yep.
But if you have Ryobi, if you have DeWalt, if they offer a battery operated grease gun, get it. And if you don't have this one and you have Milwaukee, I'll link it down below.
I don't know why I'm detailing it.
Yeah, it's going to get dirty anyway.
Quiet.
Your hands are making it dirty.
Well, what I was getting at is...
And the end is Lock and Lube, which I will also link below.
Yeah, that. I don't even know why I ever went in life without, like, that should have been made many years, well, it was made many years ago, but
it was made many years too late as well.
yeah, it is wonderful. All right, well, I'm going to go to the other side.